Going to be reading. While this is primarily a reading, I was pulled to do a bit of a different presentation today because I feel like I really want to talk and contextualize this book within the framework of like institutional power and how poetry and literature publishing as a whole is really held back by certain like institutional colonial strongholds within our institutions. Yeah. So I'm glad we have someone representing another side of the diaspora today here, specifically Latin America, because the Afro Latinos are not talked about nearly enough. And yeah, y'all have such a beautiful, rich culture. Did you want to call on someone next? Maybe also, yeah, people can say their name and what brought them here today. The three in the front, I think I know what brought them here. But maybe there's something I don't know. Did you want to call on someone else? I don't know who else have talked already. No one? It's just you. You're the first person I called on. Mm.
Hi, everybody. I'm Kara. I'm a poet. I'm a poet from Queens, New York. I'm visiting DC because I'm co-teaching a class for the Telluride Association at College Park. So we are teaching Black feminist storytelling. Yeah, it's really
doing the Lord's
really
work.
exciting. I'm grateful that I have a co-teacher. I'm not alone in this. We have 14 high schoolers of all different backgrounds and experiences. So I wanted to come tonight to do something with other adults, if you will, get outside of the classroom and also learn, because I feel like I'm learning from all my students too right now. I love poetry. Like I said, I write poetry. I'm part of the Women's Writers in Bloom Salon with J.P. Howard in New York. And so, yeah, I just wanted to come and hear poetry and enjoy.
Glad to have you here.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Hoppy. I'm a professor at American University. I teach education courses there. I'm also a poet as well, so I'm interested. And mainly because one of my students, I teach doctoral students, they did their dissertation focusing in on getting feedback in math classrooms for black girls. And what she did was she used poetry to get feedback from them to understand how math teachers were giving feedback and making them feel. So I wanted to see how this collection of poetry potentially might connect to some of her work as well. So I'm excited about it.
Yes, I would love to hear more about this afterwards. We should talk.
Thank you. Hello, my name is Sepide Jodeiri. I'm an Iranian poet, and actually I'm a member of DC for Palestine group. And then they announced your event today in DC for Palestine group, and because of that, because I'm interested in listening to your poems, I came here. Thank you very much.
Thank you. What's your name again?
Sepide Jodeiri.
Sepite.
Sepide, yes.
Sepite.
Thank you.
Enchanté.
Hi, I'm Joveria, and I came because I've been following your artistry online through your social media posts, and this will be the second time I've had the honor to see you present in person, and so I couldn't miss out on the chance.
Thank you, Joveria. I'm so happy we get to reconnect today. These three here in the front, we went to well, actually, Joveria, we met a few years ago, but these two, I went to college with them. We went to Notre Dame together, so it's always so lovely to like reconnect with people and stay in contact past, your college years.
Yeah, like Savanna just said, hi everyone, I'm Allison. I know these guys from back in college, and I'm excited to see what's been happening lately.
Thank you.
Hi guys, I'm Danuka. Went to college with Savanna. Savanna, you have such a beautiful gift, such a way with words, honestly, that is so rare. And so I love hearing everything you have to write. I always learn something from you, and I'm so happy to be here.
Thank you. So it sounds like we're all in a place to like be in discursive mode, be in dialogue with each other. I definitely want this to be like a super interactive, almost workshop more than a reading. You can decide now or later, whatever your capacity is, to continue. But just know I will be calling on poets, people who said they were poets specifically, to engage and get feedback and to basically be in dialogue about the topics that I was talking about earlier, like institutional power. Also, babe, Ethiopian East African beauty in the back. Are you gonna come up? We waiting for you, love. Take your time. Wait, is that the person speaking there? Yes, we talked when I came in. You want to stay back there? Okay, I got you. It be like that sometimes. Sometimes you just want to duck off. Yeah, I got you. Of course, I caught you entering the space. Okay. I don't think we've been. Okay, Free Sudan, free Gaza, all of that. So just to give some more background on myself, my name is Savanna Morgan. I'm from East Texas. I grew up rural, I grew up southern, and I left when I was 17 to go to college. I went to the University of Notre Dame. Like I said before, I studied theater and peace studies. I did a double major in film, television, theater with a concentration in theater, and then international peace studies before I headed off to Germany. I've been in Germany on and off for the last 5 years. I went there to get a master's degree in devised theater and performance practice, and I stayed for a bit. I started working as a teaching artist. Then I got this fellowship here in DC. I lived in DC a couple years ago. That's how I know of this amazing community center, Sankofa. And then ultimately I decided to move back to Berlin to take a position for the publisher that I'm working with currently. And yeah, I'm gonna refer to my time at Arena Stage in DC throughout this talk/reading, because I experienced some disappointment with the institutional barriers within my department. I was working in community engagement, and during my community engagement fellowship at Arena, I entered with a lot of hope, and I believed in institutions at that time, and I believed in them as spaces where creative communities could work and where social healing can take place. But what I found there instead was some very unusual walls, some very rigid structures, a lot of gatekeeping, a lot of real accountability when it comes to like being a white dominated and kind of colonial, pro-colonial space. I'm not afraid to say that, because I think institutions, they either lean towards a pro-colonial framework or an anti-colonial framework in terms of how they view knowledge, how they view language, how they view literature, and how information is spread. And that experience just clarified for me that you really can't center community in your models and center institutions at the same time. You can't center a community if your model still centers an institution. I've been able to articulate my vision for what the spread of literature, the spread of language can look like through an anti-colonial lens via my work with archived books over the last couple years. So after my fellowship, like I said, I moved back to Berlin, and I started working with Archive. And there, my role in the organization was copy editor, but also I was working like I'm still working in like exhibition curation, especially assisting like our publishing director. And our mission is really to decolonize the way people look at language and text. Understanding language is something that's in literature as something that reaches far beyond printed matter and far beyond what people can read on pages. Especially in the context of the African diaspora, language is something that has been clarified, ideas have been spread through means of sound, through means of touch, tapestry, carpets, different types of alphabets um, that aren't recognized in the Western literature landscape. So whenever I talk about this idea of black publishing practices or um, anti-colonial publishing practices or transatlantic black memory work, this is like a term that started to catch on in like the way I talk about literature. That's what I'm referring to. All these ways of spreading information. Hey, Charlotte. All these ways of spreading information that don't center printed matter as a mode, as the primary mode of literature. So, yeah, that's why I'm here. And I wanted to give an example. This mic is weird. I think I'm gonna just leave it alone. I mean, yeah, y'all can hear me, right? Yeah. And a big reason, so that's why I'm here, to stimulate ideas about how communities can spread knowledge beyond mainstream and institutional means. And I'm gonna be tying this to the book, Togetherness, and how people can build collective visions with a few exercises. We're gonna get to the exercises later. But first I wanted to talk about the Akan language. It's a language that originates in Ghana, and they have their own symbols in alphabet called the Adinkra. The Adinkra symbols or the Adinkra alphabet. And I tried to incorporate fern symbols in all of my posters, Adinkra symbols in all of my posters and promotions for my literature events. This here is the fern symbol. I want to talk about this one specifically because it represents endurance and resourcefulness, which is something that, one, I think Sankofa embodies so well in their legacy since the 90s up until now. And it's something that we as like black creatives, publishers, thinkers, theorists really need to lean into, especially as we start expanding the way we think about the spread of literature and, like I said, reckoning with this institutional power imbalance. So this is one of the symbols, the fern symbol. And I said that the Akan language comes from Ghana. It's actually Ghana and Ivory Coast. Very random border that the British put in between Ghana and Ivory Coast, but they're the same people ethnically. And it's a visual system of storytelling and proverbs and visual communications. And specifically the fern symbol, which is one of many, as you can see here, it represents a tree that's difficult to grow in most contexts, in most environmental contexts outside of West Africa. So, yeah, I just wanted to bring that up. I'm gonna refer to the Akan language and anti-Western or non-Western forms of writing throughout this presentation, and the ways that that the usage of these symbols and alternative forms of literature is useful today via their allowances of us to embody poetic autonomy. So when I talk about poetic autonomy, and this is one of the huge missions of Archive, which printed and published, which is one of the huge cornerstones of Archive, which printed and published the Togetherness anthology. Poetic autonomy as a practice of claiming sovereignty over one's creative voice and the themes that they explore, in the language and the form, especially in defiance of imposed narratives and institutional gatekeeping. It's about writing, it's about sharing from your own self-determined truths, and often about it's often rooted in embodied experiences and reclaiming ancestral memory and culture, specifically within the context of of transatlantic populations like us here in the U.S., like our sister back here from Colombia. And for Black writers, especially for Black femmes, Black queer people, Black trans people, disabled Black folks, fat Black folks, whatever intersections you carry, poetic autonomy is often much more than just freedom of expression. We often water terms down and say things like freedom of expression, when what we really mean at the core of our statement is autonomy over one's practice, not just what they're allowed to say or what they're allowed to write. And it basically just says, I don't need to translate myself to be understood. I don't need to be palatable to be published. I don't need permission to name my own world. And it includes writing in dialects. I write a lot in my own dialect that I grew up hearing my grandmother speak and my older uncles and aunts speak. I'm descended from the Gullah Geechee people of South Carolina and Georgia, and in my family, this dialect is starting to slowly become watered down and broken down, along with many Southern populations. But one of the ways I try to reclaim this dialect is through my poetry, and by printing, using the constraints of the printing press of printed matter to combat the respectability politics around what is language and what is poetry. And poetic autonomy, it also includes holding contradictions, like being a descendant of a certain ethnic group with a lineage and with a culture, but not really being able to name certain things on those terms because you've been forced to adapt to this Western landscape. And yeah, I want to talk a bit about some examples of this throughout African American history specifically, which is quilts in the Black community. One of our comrades, actually, Carolyn Mazlumi, she did a presentation here at Sankofa not long ago about an exhibition that she did, which featured 33 quilts from black women in America and across the Americas, I should say, in North and South America. And the story of the quilt tradition, it can be tied back to Harriet Powers. She was enslaved on a Georgia plantation. I don't know if you guys can see here. And she documented her life through these quilts in a time where Black people were not allowed to read and write and articulate our own destinies in this country. So through traditional appliqué techniques, is what they call it in French, she used quilts to describe local legends, stories, Bible stories, astronomical and cosmological events. And she would visualize her memories, her ancestral memories, not just her personal memories, through these quilts. And this tradition in huge part contributed to the Black freedom struggle pre-Civil War in a time where there was such limited ways of thinking about, such limited ways of spreading information as Black people, due to all of the laws against our educational autonomy as well. I'm gonna slow down. Does anyone have anything to contribute at this point, or any reflections or questions? Or should I just keep going? Yeah? There was something else I wanted to say. It'll come back to me later. I'm actually about to stop talking and finally get into the reading. So I'm going to be reading from Togetherness first. So this is me and my two co-authors. This is Jumoke in the middle. This is Delali on the left, both Afro-European. Jumoke in the middle is Afro-German with Nigerian roots, and Delali is from Luxembourg with Togolese roots. And as I said earlier, many of our poets here in this anthology represent different parts of the diaspora, different experiences, different languages. Unfortunately, I only have the capacity to read in English, but if you buy this book, just know it's a very multilingual and sonic approach as well, because the way words are spelled out are not just relegated to printed matter. And yeah, once I'm done with the reading, I'll give you guys the book so you can physically hold it and flip through it and see what I'm talking about. The first poem I want to read is by Mame Marian. She lives in Ghana, and this is Sunshine and Homecoming. Mama Miriam, Sunshine and Homecoming. Sunshine, I carried you for 9 months and 10 days. I carried you, watched you grow within me, expanding me, bulging belly, stretching my skin with stripes that would remind me you once lived here. My body, your first home. My heart, your forever home. A part of you as you are a part of me. The sweet fruit of my labor, the gift that keeps on giving, in smiles, in kisses, soft touches, with hugs and with light that beams out of you into me and back again. Homecoming, with my mother holding my hand, I returned home to the place she was born. Red soil painted my feet and welcomed me in a homely ceremony. I stroked the arms of my elders, listened to their words with their blind eyes fixated on me. They didn't need to see to know that I was a part of them, to give me words that were enough to the wise to pray prayers that still ring through my ears and manifest in my life. That's my favorite poem from the anthology. That's why I started with that one. Oh, I don't even know if I can read this one because this one be making me cry. But I'm going to give it a shot. Oh God, it's like I forgot. Oh yes, of course. This is by Yemi Osokoya. She's East African, either Kenyan or Tanzanian. I can't remember, but also a part of the Afro-German diaspora. This is Echoes of Existence. Life flows into death, like a dance in a delicate waltz of light and shadow, as each step whispers eternity, like a river cascading into the unknown, carrying our stories and memories downstream. Life flows into death, where we all shall be, like a melody fading into existence, leaving echoes of our existence behind, recognizing our shared humanity, belonging to a universal breath, connecting us to eternal unity. Life flows into death, like a phoenix rising from the ashes of the past, like renewal forever to last. Life flows into death, like a story reaching its final chapter where endings and beginnings intertwined. Yet in this circle, beauty resides, for death's embrace a new dawn abides. Let's savor each passing second with care, embracing the love, joy, and life we share. In life's rhythms, dance, we'll come to see. Even in death, there's a chance to be free. Yemi Osokoya. One of my favorite poets in Europe. I'm so glad he agreed to contribute to this anthology. He was literally the first person who I thought of whenever we started putting this book together. His name is Otis Menza. He's the poet laureate of Sheffield, which is a town in a small city in the north of England. And he has Ghanaian heritage. He's biracial, Black British biracial. This is Rapture by Otis Menza. Wailing bellows of trumpet topple from the mouthpiece of spiraling rain. Auntie's eyes flipped to white. A ground quaking chorus hallelujahs struck my spine. Bushfire to a barn. My legs weaken against the circle of us. Tears flee my mother like prey from a lion. Throbbing body of water eating at the door, flurries of red echo, the breaking sky glistening in. Anointment for the weak, the boastful, the forgotten. Shikabamba, out the mouths of babies and sucklings, healing for the sick. Forgiveness, forgiveness, forgiveness. Darkness hurried to the light. I command you out in Yeshua's name. Leave this land. I rebuke you. Loosen, oh Shika. A pillar of rubble crashed through the ceiling, missing Auntie by just a slither of prayer. Looking down from the gaping, a black shimmering of afro, fist comb, oil-soaked ringlets, razor flick of high top, riverbed of bald fade, kente head wrap, silk do-rag, narrow streets of scalp, Nile of braided hair weaved with auburn electric indigo crinkles of locks, pews of cornrows, ooh, sha, a gush of harp strings butterflied together, the aroma of cocoa butter, sweat, higher, higher, lift Jesus higher, the pin drop of sin. Lower, lower, push Satan lower. A most devastating lightning ignited the mahogany pulpit. Everyone scuttled like mice under the cast of violet. A blinding cascade of gold rushed the window pane. We hid under chairs, tables, every second past another taken. Ripped from the floor, you ascend with grins wide as wounds, diseasing your face. Ghastly laughter hauled from your mouth haunts me like penance. The menace of being left behind as you gallop up cutthroat of dismay. I watched the hurricane wind move through you, our pastor flung into the ether. Her shoes falling from her feet, then my cousin, then an uncle, a niece. My mother and I lock eyes. Her shook look sends shivers down to the bare of my soul as she vanished up into the quickening of augmented air. My vision hurled into Genesis void, the remnant of us hollow, a new lamentation. Miracle lagoon of destitute, my head pregnant with a family of nobody, and a kingdom of godlike emptiness overtakes me. That's the one. Again, Otis Menza. You should definitely read his work. Archive, we're going to be publishing his next solo book, which is called Drawn and Quartered. And he's like going deep into his story as a biracial British person and talking about mixed race identity, not in the annoying way that some people do, but he's really good at talking about it. Yeah, I'm going to read one more from Togetherness, and then I'll head over to my debut poetry book, which came out a couple years ago. Like I said, this book is multilingual. There's poems in English, French, German, Arabic, sign language, German sign language, and English sign language, and American sign language. This one is called In the End by Michelle Angwenyi. Even the most cunning lovers succumb to nostalgia's shiver, the long shadows it sets forth. This time, I don't stand alone under the awning. This time, we both are there, Fox and I. The dappled orange evening giving way to Empyrean purple. The clouds become hills. The light spreads low. There are few words. There is no way to describe this. The epiphany of ease. That my hair still smells like the ocean. That we are there, sentenced into a sweetness we might have spent our lives chasing after. Like sticky geographers at the station table in that remote wild after a sandy shower into a hot night, riddled with the thrill of errant bird call, the thrill of, yet again, being caught in a God-given break, mercy beyond the mathematics of change, mercy of the decision to first, by the law of course in numbers, let despairing desire harden into the substance, the experience of childhood lost. Then, to deny, for once, the calm surface, the press of glass, the question, who might I find here? And I've been found. And what do you have to give up that you did have to give up as you, not the scabby pink walls or shelves of unreadable books, the once green of things, the man dead once, now scared to fall asleep in case he is certain nobody could ever understand, is all still there. I did carry it around, homemade rivets and all its gray as a thing of surpassing worth. I did. I imagine you as quickly as the last lights will allow, then settle into the odd comfort of the weight where I've given you over to time, as if we've always known that. Time's surrogates in patience will bring us to the familiar landing where we will, like any other day, yet another evening, together, find ourselves calling it somewhere like. So that's Michelle Angwenyi's In the End. Now I'm going to switch over to Cow Tripe. Just a little backstory on this one. This was published in 2022 before I got into the publishing game myself, before I started working with Archive. This was printed by Hopscotch Editions, also based in Berlin. And well, actually, the first edition didn't come out with them. I self-published this book on Blurb. And then they found me and they were like, we're going to do a real book. Because if y'all know anything about Blurb, the physicals are not giving. But yeah, this reading this literally feels like time traveling, because I was such a different person when I was writing these poems. It came out in 2022, but I wrote most of these when I was in, like half of them when I was in my last year of college. So like 2019 to 2020, and then some of them were written in 2021 when I first got to Berlin. So this is Caltripe. This first one. Oh, also, just a note to the title, Caltripe. That was my grandmother's, my deceased grandmother's favorite food, fried caltripe. What I hear from my dad, at least. I never really got to meet this grandmother because she died about 6 months after I was born, but she's definitely someone, a spirit that I'm in constant communications with, and her presence is something that I felt in a really like profound way since I was really young. So she has had a lot to do with the way I think about writing, especially as like a spiritual practice and a way of connecting with ancestors. Also, just about the women in my family at large, we big boned women, we got meat on our bodies, and I like to write a lot about the sensual and what it means to live in a body specifically, and what it means to live in my black fat body, and how I've come to terms with my existence, like in relationship to the women in my family. So this is Fat Girls in a Fat Hating Culture. Her back rolls are fat and chocolate to the bone, soft. Her thighs touch each other when she walks, soft. Her legs fold at the ankle instead of at her hip, soft. Her tits block her view of her belly, soft. Her fingers did not fit into his engagement ring. Every time I unbutton her jeans, it's like popping open a can of biscuits. Someone told me it's a sign of her lack of self-control, or because she buries her emotions in food. When she gets undressed, her lovers never know where to look first. Their eyes spill out of their skulls. She uses them as jelly preserve. I knew she was fat when she licked my fingers afterwards. Poets only use metaphors for poems they write about themselves. One day, I'll write a poem about biscuits and jelly that I actually ate. I am completely opposed to goals. I grab a mug only when the water from my tea is boiled. I put away the bread from my sandwiches only after it is eaten. I am always hungry. I am always wanting sex. This is how it is. Pleasure to me is anything that can be enjoyed with no ends in sight. I don't care to know what's going on after this or where anything is getting me. I perform because all that matters on stage is what can happen in a moment. The future does not exist until it is happening. When I die, I would like for my body to compost and for the moments I had to live on. The thoughts and love that I had will be left behind while I rot. During my life, I was a black woman with large thighs. Your soul was a rare pearl that I longed to receive. I waited for the sign from your hands that meant that you were ready to touch me, so that I could feel your desire instead of watching it on your face. My thoughts about you felt stupid and useless. My mind was a water park where I play with my reflection of you. We climb hiking trails. I swim naked in ponds. You watch me. We sing in the car with the windows down. I even know how to relax with you. Sleep is vulnerable, you tell me. And that's why it's so great, I tell you. Because I am immoderately knocked out by the tiny steps we take toward each other each day. In the same way, when walking in a path toward the sun, I squint, I take a step, I move forward, I take the ride. I always forget which order this one is in. I'm gonna find it, y'all. Okay. Therapy. There is somewhere, meaningfully placed in my filing cabinet of a brain, a picture of a boy. Here's this identifiable to many, but familiar to some, young black man laying in a hospital bed. Wires wrapped around his brain like chains, head bandaged, eyes bowed out of shame, hidden under full metal jackets. Relax. No one even cares. Swagger kills. Everyone knows bullets fly towards black men faster. The muzzle only feels at home, staring down the barrel of a black soul. There are enough ballers, rappers, shot callers. We don't need another. I almost remember a time when we knew each other as children, before we were marked with the scarlet bee, brother and sister, baking dirt pies from the East Texas plains, before office referrals turned into detentions, which turned into police calls and handcuffs around 10-year-old wrists. Before tools built for military action became accessories. Before safeties and hammers and slides became an extension of our own anatomies. Before full metal jackets carried men out of obscurity into the spotlight by virtue of bullets as gold pellets. Sometimes, under sunlight, black boys turn gold too. So, I'm really leaning into the discussion aspect of this event. I'm just honestly, I'm interested in hearing from you guys when we talk on the topic of poetic autonomy we were talking about earlier. I'll get back to the reading if time allows, but I really wanted to have like a post-reading discussion and yeah, just talk more about what I think when I'm hear the word poetic autonomy and the way that reflects in the text, both from my poetry book and what I selected to go into Togetherness. So I'm not really thinking about freedom of speech or freedom of expression in the abstract when I talk about this term, poetic autonomy. I'm thinking more about how freedom can live in the body, how freedom can live in the hips and in the throat and in ancestral memories. And for me, poetry is not just an art form, it's is a technology which we can use to refuse or to accept the status quo. And it's a way of refusing violence, the violence of our experiences being misnamed, of not being given the power to name our own experience, and of being spoken for. And as a black femme from the South, as a fat black femme from the South, and I'm using the term fat, I keep bringing up the body because the sensual and what we're able to touch and see and hear is so important in overcoming the centering of printed matter as literature. But as a person with this embodied experience, I really try to recover the sovereignty that's been historically denied over my flesh, over my body, over my beliefs. So the poems that I shared tonight, they're a part of that recovery work that I've been doing. And I see them each piece as an act of spiritual protection, and also like an invitation for others like me who experience things similar to the intersections of mind to remember, to gather and to remember. I want to talk about what this collective out in Philly is doing, because they're also comrades, and I really appreciate that they've been carrying the torch in terms of this whole Black transnational publishing practice. So this is Black Quantum Futurism. They're founded by this amazing lesbian couple, Moore Mother and Rashida Phillips. Black Quantum Futurism was founded and used to be based in Philadelphia, but now they're in Los Angeles. And rather than just putting books into circulation, BQF, Black Quantum Futurism, is publishing worlds of knowledge through zines, through workshops, through soundscapes, through oral storytelling, and through community-based memory and land-based practices. In their books, they often appear alongside performances, alongside installations and sonic environments that count as ritual making and as literature making. So the boundaries between the book and the stage, and the church even, and the classroom and the altar is often blurred within their work. I want to play a clip, a documentary / performance / recording of a poetic piece that they came out with a couple years ago. And I think that can, that'll be the best way of displaying their practice, because there's only so much I can say.
Brass halo, chunky fries, rice and beans, double fried, skins and brushes, glass and crash. Symbol Mulhall Trosphere. Baraka time coals upside the head of an Eastman school. In the wrong hands. And the wrong hands must be left, must be used up American rap. Jazz on copyright. Inferno 10 City. Scared Road San Francisco rap. Laid and live. Big band guns, Brussels from Texas, Parish rag, fire music, gut cold, mind cave, body blunt barrel. Woody Shaw, elevator out of town, fall out ratios.
Going up and down. Who's coming? Woody Shaw, elevator out of town. Out of town, life got us going. Life got us going up and down. Who's coming? Who's coming? Far out ratios. Far out ratios. Who's coming? Life got us going, got us knowing, got us floating, freeing, fleeing. Life got us on the run, runaways. Life got us on a run, we run away. Life got us going. Woody Shaw, elevator out of town. Woody Shaw, elevator out of town. Far out ratios. Who's coming? Who's coming? Coming, going, going, coming, going. Who's coming? Going back, back to a deeper past. Before, after. Who's coming? Who's going? Where are we going? Life got us confused. Life got us confused. Where are we going? Going. Who's coming? Who's coming? Life got us going. Up and down. And down. Got us going up and down.
Woody Shaw was an innovator, and sometimes innovators don't get the just due that they should. But he's known by all musicians, all jazz musicians know him and respect him. And they know that he was a bad man.
Test. Okay, it's back working. Yeah, so I just wanted to show this clip of More Mother in Action and Black Quantum Futurism because I think it's so interesting to think of a music studio as a publishing site, or think of a community altar or a place of prayer as a publishing site. This is the Community Futures Lab, where they, which is the main location where Black Quantum Futurism does their practice. And it's a temporary publishing site, even though it's stationed in one and rooted in one place. More Mother refers to it as temporary because time, and even the way we think about time in archives is often pushed. The Western sense of time is often pushed in archives and in the publishing space. This idea that the past, the present, and the future are three distinct moments, as opposed to time being this circular thing where the past is reaching back into the past is reaching forward into the future, and where the future is reaching back into the past, and that that kind of dictates the present moment. I think it's just interesting to think about archives in this way, understanding time as something that's cyclical, and carrying that into the way we think about publishing and community engagement and story keeping. Another reason why I think archives can be problematic, and I'm bringing up archives now because of just the namesake Archive Books being the publisher of Togetherness. Really interrogating what's at the core of an archive, because in the Western sense, it can be quite problematic, not only because of the way time is the Western framework of time, but also the framework of what is knowledge, prioritizing written text and printed matter as the primary focus for how information has been spread and how stories are told. So moments like this, where in the case of the Black Community Futures Lab, where community members are encouraged to come in and write their own speculative futures, and record their oral histories, and participate in workshops that like are centered around the survival of our memories. Yeah. That's pretty much all for the presentation. I did have a little exercise if you guys will be up to it. I have like a transnational poetry prompt that I wanted to challenge you to respond to, or invite you to respond to. Just something short, maybe 5 or 7 lines, and then you can contribute something. After about 10 or 15 minutes, I'll give us time to either write, or you can just like talk and get to know each other. But I wanted you guys to respond to the prompt of 1, a border you've crossed, physically, emotionally, or linguistically, or 2, a story that you carry from an elder, or 3, a form of resistance that travels. Should I repeat again? So, writing 5 to 7 lines about 1, a border that you've crossed. It can be a physical border, an emotional border, or a linguistic border. Or it can be a story that you carry from an elder. Or it can be a form of resistance that travels. This is completely opt-in. No worries if you can't think of something. I'm just going to give everyone like 10, 15 minutes max, for those of us who do want to accept the invitation. And in the meantime, we can listen to this amazing performance again.
Fire music. Brass halo, chunky fries. Rice and beans. Double fried. Skins and brushes, glass and crash. Symbol Mulhall Trosphere. Baraka time coals upside the head of an Eastman school. In the wrong hands. And the wrong hands must be left, must be used up American rap. Jazz and copyright. Inferno 10 City. Scared World San Francisco rap. Laid and live. Big band guns. Brussels from Texas, Paris rag. Fire music. Gut cold. Mind cave, body blunt barrel. Woody Shaw, elevator out of town, fall out ratios. Life got me going up and down. Woody Shaw, elevator out of town. Who's coming? Woody Shaw, elevator out of town, fall out ratios. Who's coming? Who's coming? Life got us going. See, life got us going up and down. Who's coming? Who's coming? Woody Shaw, elevator out of town, life got me growing. Knowing, flowing, freeing, fleeing. Up and down. Up and down. Who's coming? Woody Shaw, elevator out of town. Town. Who's coming? Life got us going up and down. Life got us going up and down. Who's coming? Woody Shaw, elevator out of town. Out of town, life got us going. Life got us going up and down. Who's coming? Who's coming? Far out ratios. Far out ratios. Who's coming? Life got us going. Got us knowing. Got us floating. Freeing. Fleeing. Life got us on the run. Runaways. Life got us on a run. We run away. Life got us going. Woody Shaw, elevator out of town.
Okay, word. So the mic is all yours. Let's give it up for Charlotte.
Hello. So I decided to write on number 1, a border that I have crossed. Departing to ruminate. Where the body cannot survive, I touched it with tongue, slathered my self-worth in memories of you are not, you will never, you are soon to be enough. And with that in mind, I've had enough of myself in this lifetime. I rather let this last train to me pass on to better pastures, where the green feels real and less sharp. A landing where I lay and stay without regret. Poem.
Poem. New shit. Du liebst auch.
I love that. Hi, everyone. My name is Lexia. I am a musician, so I do poetry, I guess, but in a different dialect, if you will. So yeah, I did the second prompt, so a story from an elder. This is a story, but it's also kind of just like a proverbial message. It was my grandma speaking to me. So, go to Miami, get there quick, hop on 95, avoid from 9 to 6. When the eye catches say, and the road is astray, and the billboards say New York, go the other way. And so what it meant, what she told me is basically like, if you're not going towards your destination, you should change your route. Turn around. Because, that was the message. Yeah. It was, and it sticks with me. So.
Thank you for sharing. Such moving text just within this short period of time. If no one else is ready to share yet, just come grab the mic. You ready to Nuka? Oh gosh. Yeah, I'm ready. I love to see you. Okay. This is a safe space.
Thank you. Your prompts were my grandfather passed away. That's true.
Oh my God. I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay. But this is like the perfect stuff.
You want me to read it?
It's okay. I can do it.
Only if you feel ready.
Yeah,
you can also come back later if you want.
So for context, Sia means grandfather in Sinhalese. So my Sia, my grandfather and my dad's side passed away yesterday. He was a pillar of his community. His father was an alcoholic, and he raised his 10 siblings till his bedridden death. Oliver worked in the Sri Lankan government, ensuring train operations ran efficiently. Every time I came home to Sri Lanka, I'd see locals wave in and out of his home for advice, for a connection, for love. He will forever lead the song of my heart.
Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing that. I also lost my granddad recently. It was my paternal grandfather. Yeah. Respect to them. There's respect and there's love in the silences. But like we were just talking about, life, time is something cyclical. Endings are beginnings, beginnings are ends. Simply a new chapter, a new passageway into being. That's how I view death. Once again, the mic is, I'm holding it, but anyone can come take it from me at this point. There was one of the prompts was a border that you've crossed physically, emotionally, or language-wise, or that one. Okay, you a freestyle? Oh no, you finna write something. My bad. I thought you was about to get up. Period. Allison? You can also read from your seat if you want.
Yeah. Okay. So tonight got me thinking a lot about language. I love languages. So what I wrote about was a linguistic border, learning Chinese, actually. So since tonight, I largely focused on the diversity and forms of language, including the Akan language, which seems to be mostly based on like pictographic characters, right? I thought that was very cool. So I was writing about a linguistic border I crossed, was learning Mandarin a few years ago. It introduced me to the many ways that language can function, deepened my appreciation of linguistics as a whole. Just thought it was a very interesting experience. For instance, Chinese has no alphabet. It has distinct characters, much like the one you showed us, and also no set grammar structure, no gender, no tenses, no articles, the way English does. So I think that kind of mentally this is like a border to cross. It illuminated the beauty and breadth of language And tonight really reminded me of that. So thank you for showing that to us.
Thank you, Allison. Such meaningful contributions. My time is almost up. They only gave me till 8:30. So, if no one else has any contributions yet, is anyone else planning to contribute? Yes, no, maybe? Okay. I'm going to give y'all 2 more minutes, and then we can wrap it up with our last contributions. This has been so special. Oh. Yeah? You got to turn it back on. Tanuka.
Okay. I haven't written anything, but I wanted to share that for me, crossing borders is to learn new languages. As an Afro-Latin person, we are sometimes isolated in communities where we are minorities, not communities, countries where we are minorities.
You want to come up?
And that we don't know our history, as for example, African Americans or Afro-Caribbean people do. Our history is not told in schools at all. At all. We feel like an accident in Colombia, Peru, Venezuela, Mexico, Nicaragua, and we just don't know who we are and why we are black, and most of us are fat, or the kind of the hair or the way we talk, and the gods we have. We just don't know the history. So for me, learning English has meant to be able to read our history and to let my people there know who we are and where we come from, and to read Africans, to read Afro-Europeans, and to read all the diasporas. So that's the way I've crossed the borders.
Thank you so much for sharing. Yeah, you can. I'll turn it off and then just leave it here. Thank you so much. I've also been thinking about, it's interesting you brought up the English language as a tool that helped you to understand your history, because it's very paradoxical in a sense, because English has also been used as a colonial tool for hundreds of years. You know, the British forcing their language, their culture, their religion onto people through the most brutal means, yet this language is how I also came to know of my own history. So yeah, just putting that in the context of the whole presentation is so interesting. But I'm wishing you like the best on your journey, getting to know yourself, understanding more about your ethnicity and your origins. And I also pray like that you not pray. I don't want to like project that onto you, but I also I wish for you like also a very like embodied and personal experience of getting to know yourself beyond just like academic literature, through whether that be through prayer or through dance or through you know, kissing somebody who look like you. No matter what it is, just having a essential experience of who you are, and getting to know your history through that. Mm-hmm. Hello? the only two languages you need in America, really, in the U.S., really. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right. Shout out to the polylinguals. I'm working on it. Got a little German, a little French under my belt, but not quite fluent yet. Say what? Oh, thank you. I'm doing what I can. I'm like almost there with the German. It's better than my French, definitely. The French I learned a bit when I was in Senegal, but I was only there 5 months. Not only, it was a long time, but I couldn't learn French or Wolof in that time. Magnifique! Hello? What's the other one they say? See? Because there's another greeting that goes back. Oh. Magnifique. And the other one starts with wa. What they say back to Magnifique. Oh, my God. We gotta dig into the Wolof. They got a Wolof English dictionary here. I bought one from here a few years ago. I wonder if it's still in stock. So whoever want to join us on our Wolof journey, speak to Sankofa. Yeah? You ready?
Can't say it makes a lot of sense. It's quick.
Nothing makes sense.
See it. Okay. Borders have surrounded me. Borders have surrounded me in a fiction of freedom, a back and forth crossing of the physical, an illusion, of an illusion, because I've carried the fiction, the emotional fiction of freedom, blissfully unaware of the oppression, rejecting the physical instruments that bind me. I run from during my travels to spiritual. I think I did it wrong.
Different order?
Yeah, different order.
It all makes sense, though.
Different order.
It's connected.
Let me do it again. No, I want to do it the whole thing, just the last part.
Cyclical, not sequential. Hello?
Let's do it. Rejecting the physical and rejecting the physical instruments that bind me. That's the end.
Amazing.
So I didn't really get it together.
I think it was great. I think it's a perfect note to end things on. Thank y'all so much for coming, everybody. Sadly, not everyone could stick around to the end, but those who made it, y'all real. Cheers. Whoever want to pay for this drink, hit me up. I'm also trying to get me a panini. Those paninis are so good. Is there anything else I want to say seriously, though? Oh, Togetherness is officially available on the East Coast as of today. I guess y'all call this the Mid-Atlantic. I don't know if y'all refer to this as the East Coast. It's the East Coast, right? Because somebody tried to tell me it was Mid-Atlantic, and I was like, oh, okay.
East is east. This is New York is east.
For real. We just 4 hours away from New York. Like,
This is not east.
it depends who you ask, I guess. It's the Mid-Atlantic East Coast. Okay. Period. But thanks to Sankofa. Yeah, because we below the Mason-Dixon line technically, and Harriet Tubman was enslaved in Maryland. Hello, am I right? Yeah. Yeah, Harriet Tubman was enslaved in Maryland. One of the most important heroes in American history is from Maryland. But yes, take a look at the anthology Togetherness. You can see nods to a lot of the stuff that we were talking about today here in this book, and you can buy one from Sankofa as of today. Now, thank you guys. Oh, as for my poetry book, Caltripe, it is out of print. until September. It's been out of print for like 8 months now, but we're doing the reprint in September, and when I come back to DC, there will be more copies. 300 copies were printed in the first edition, and yeah, it took about 2 years for them to sell out. But this upcoming fall, there will be more. Thank you.